I never expected to go through such a heart-wrenching experience at only 6 years old. After all, that was the age where everything worked out like it did in fairy tales. But when the reality of life hit, especially at such a young age, it hits hard. I learned that not everything lasts forever. When I was 6, my mom and dad split up, and when I was 7, they got divorced. It all started that spring. I had no idea that they were unhappy together, and my mom pulled me out of class and told me that her, my 2 brothers, and I were all headed down to my Uncle Greg's. And I got really excited because I thought it was like a mini vacation. I didn't even realize that my dad wasn't with us until we were about halfway there. My curiosity had no worry behind it, though. I figured that there was a reasonable explanation. Either he got held up at work, or he would meet up with us later. I decided to ask, and I was totally unprepared for her response. She told me that her and my dad were splitting up. I realized that the purpose of our trip wasn't to go on a vacation, it was to get away from my dad. I remember crying in the backseat of the van. To me, everything was fine. I only looked at our family dinners together and our trips to Adventureland. I didn't look at all the negative stuff. The truth was, my dad's drinking had gotten a lot worse, and that caused my parents to argue a lot. A few months later, my mom moved us out of my childhood home and into a 2-bedroom apartment. It was really weird, though, because my dad would come over for dinner, and my mom and dad's relationship actually seemed to be mending, and it was like they were dating, but we were all just waiting for my mom's decision, whether she wanted to leave him for good or to go back with him. I found out her decision when my dad picked me up shortly after my 7th birthday from a friend's house. It seemed all exciting at first because he had a new car, and he said that we were going out to Red Lobster to eat lunch. As we began driving, though, his eyes welled up with tears, and he told me that my mom was divorcing him. I didn't even cry. I guess if a person knows that there's a possibility of something happening, and it happens, they're not as affected by it. Today, I feel no regret about my parents' divorce. My mom deserves to be happy. I learned that not everything lasts forever, and that includes my parents' marriage. The possibility of my family having a fairy tale ending was taken away from me when I was 6 years old. And though the experience was very hard for me, it helped me wake up to the real world.